First-century Judea was a powder keg of expectations. When Jesus of Nazareth began his public ministry, the crowds were divided. Some saw a moral teacher or a prophet. Others were desperate for a political messiah to overthrow the Roman occupation. But the situation escalated. Jesus moved past moral instruction and began making explicit claims of equality with Yahweh, the God of Israel. To the religious authorities, this was the ultimate crime. They accused him of blasphemy, demanding his execution because he was a man claiming to be God. It is easy for anyone to claim they are the author of reality. Validating that claim requires physical proof, the ability to suspend the laws of nature. Theologians refer to the dual nature of Jesus as the hypostatic union, the idea that he was simultaneously human and divine. His hunger and exhaustion proved his humanity, but only miracles could prove his deity. He didn't perform magic tricks to entertain a crowd. Jesus used his command over the laws of nature as the physical evidence needed to validate his divine identity. We can organize this evidence into a hierarchy of overrides, starting with the laws of physics and matter. In the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus and his disciples were caught in a violent storm on the Sea of Galilee. With a single command, he neutralized the kinetic energy of the wind and waves, leaving the water perfectly still. In the multiplication of the bread and fish, he bypasses the law of conservation of mass, generating new physical matter for a crowd of 5,000. For the Jewish audience, the implications were clear. The Old Testament portrayed God as the one who commanded the seas and provided manna. By repeating these acts, Jesus was asserting absolute authority over the physical environment. The proof then shifts from environmental physics to the laws of human biology and cellular corruption. When Jesus healed a paralyzed man, he specifically linked his power over biological nerve damage to his divine authority to forgive sins. In restoring sight to a man born blind, he was rewriting the man's biological reality, regenerating optical hardware that had never functioned. These acts were defined by compassionate disruption. Unlike some religious figures of his time, Jesus dispensed this healing freely, driven by empathy for human suffering. This power over disease served as the evidence that the kingdom of God had arrived, a dominion built on mercy rather than profit. Finally, we reach the limit of the natural world, the finality of entropy and death. In the account of Jairus' daughter, Jesus approaches a young girl who has just died and immediately reverses her clinical death. He then raises Lazarus, a man who had been dead in a tomb for 4 days. This required the reversal of advanced biological decay, reassembling deteriorating tissue. By shattering the limit of mortality, Jesus provided the validation for his claim, "I am the resurrection and the life." How were these physical overrides actually possible? The theology in Colossians 1 provides a model. It claims that Jesus is the architect, that all things, visible and invisible, were created through him. The text states that in him all things hold together. He is described as the active, continuous sustainer of the universe. This changes the logic of the miracles. Jesus isn't breaking the rules of nature. The architect is simply rearranging his own building blocks. The ultimate consequence of this is seen in his death. The gospel accounts record that 3 days after his execution, Jesus achieved his own resurrection. The physical evidence of the empty tomb and his appearance demonstrated that the physical universe is subordinate to the Son of God.